Hello everyone, my name is Jordan, also known as Scraps, and today I want to share with you guys a quick technique. This technique I've been using for probably about a day because I learned it yesterday and I was like, oh, this is so cool, I have to, man, who can I teach this to or show this? And since my brother is so busy with so much work, I thought I would share it with you guys and see what you guys think. And if it works for you guys, I'll make more videos like this, but whatever. So what I have right now is that this beat repeat has a special custom mapping. So it has growl step maker. Growl step maker is, well, it makes growls repeat over and over again. So it's very nice. But what I didn't know is that while messing around with Baby Croc synth, the shift is mapped to the mod wheel. So whenever I play a note, it sounds like this. And when I'm done messing with this synth, I was like, oh, I wonder what could happen. So the interval is mapped with the Baby Croc synth mod wheel. So once we start playing, you'll start to get some very glitchy, crazy effects. And it's something that you have to have a sound before you start messing, because if you just start with a static sound, it's not going to sound like you want it to sound. It's always important to create the sound first and then start messing with glitches and things like that, because then you start to get even more excited. So with it in motion, it sounds like this. So you can kind of get the idea. In a few seconds, we'll start making this. Alright, so when messing with any type of Reason, you always want to rewire and get your stuff correct before you launch Reason. I already have Reason loaded up, so it'd be kind of a waste to show you how to set it up. But basically, you want to launch your DAW or your main host application, your first program, the stuff you always work with. It can be any DAW. You just start that first. It's always important to start that first. Then in order to rewire, you want to start up Reason, and Reason will pop up and bounce, or depending if you have Windows, it'll just load up. So one of the things you want to do is you want to get a audio track in your DAW, and you want to go to your ins and outs, and you want to select Reason. And since it maps itself to the half channel, that's perfectly fine, and you want to arm it. This is what gives it the power to control and modulate all the effects. So I'm going to go into my Reason. I'm going to grab a creative instrument, and since we're not going to be using Baby Croc for this one, or we can, let's do that. So I'll go to my refill that I've been making for years, and I think it's in lead. Yeah, Baby Croc. I think I released this like a long time ago and then started working with it. I don't know if it went anywhere, but now that we have the synth, let's test it out. There's no sound, right? Well, that's because in Ableton, when you arm things, no, actually it should work. My bad. I just forgot to reroute the audio to be out. So that's actually my bad. It should work perfectly fine. There we go. It works. So the one thing we want to add to our audio track that's recording all the input and stuff from Reason is a beat repeat. Now I'm just going to drag a basic beat repeat on here. Intervals are nice, but I don't want the gate to stretch more than 8. 7 is fine. That's perfect. That's loading up a blank beat repeat. However, I want my ends to be set. I don't want mix to be, because it would just record on top of the audio, and that's not very, that's only good for like guitars and things that have single sounds. It doesn't work when you're trying to do it with a dubstep growl. It just doesn't mesh. It doesn't sound too pretty to me. So I'm going to set my variation to 6, and instead of putting no triplets on, I'm going to change that to 12, and that'll give us 12ths and 8ths are great for trap. That's all they ever do is 16th triplets and 32 triplets, and even farther than that, like 64th triplets. But I think that's in Cubase, something that has a far more powerful grid. Anyways, and to map it, our final conquest is you can either do this 2 ways. You can either right click and group it to a macro control. So I'm just going to hit map mode, hit my interval, and hit the macro 1. So that's set to 32 now. So I'm going to go back to Reason, and let's say your mod wheel doesn't map to the first rotary. That's fine. You can do that by going into Reason, hitting the tab key, or I'm sorry, pulling down the show programmer, going to your maelstrom, and for the rotary one, you can map the mod wheel to, it's actually performance and then mod wheel, but that's still perfectly fine. So if you want to create something very glitchy, very rapid, very fast for your bass techniques, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. I can't really tell you what happens with beat repeat. There's probably a signal going by, and then beat repeat kicks in and it chops up that audio signal, and then continues with the rest of the note. I'm not sure how that looks like in science, but I'm not a very technical guy. Actually I am, but I'm not technical in that field. So hopefully I was able to show you guys something new, and coming out later should be more bass techniques and how to use the cutoff filter and your external devices to create something new. So I'll check you guys out later, and take care. Peace.